Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on Transformers by PamTen. So lately we've been hearing a lot about LLMs and ChatGPT. So in this particular video, we'll understand what exactly is ChatGPT made of. So the basic building block of all of your LLMs is something called as a transformer. Now, before we understand what exactly is a transformer, let's understand the previous models which were in existence and also understand what was the problem with them. So, initially, before your LLM, so maybe a decade or a couple of decades back, we had something called as bag of words. So, with bag of words, you can consider this as a tourist who's in a different country. So, if you go to a different country, you don't really know that language, and then you just by heart some particular words. So maybe if you're in a new country and you wanted to have a coffee, so you'll just learn the word coffee. Or maybe if you wanted to use restroom, you'll just learn what is restroom in that particular language. So you'll just learn these words and you'll not understand the meaning behind that. And that is how a bag of words model usually works. So, when you work with the bag of words model, there was no context or meaning associated with it, and then you just remembered that this word is equal to this word. That was bag of words. Going ahead, we also developed something called as a recurrent neural network. So, recurrent neural network was used for a really long time, and this was the stepping stone for LLMs. Now, you can consider this recurrent neural network as a very diligent student or a very diligent historian who learns your sentences or who learns a lot of stories word by word. So, you can maybe call this a historian, and then he does a lot of research, and with his research he learns each word and each sentence sequentially. Now here the problem is the historian over here or the student over here does not really have a really big memory, and then as he starts learning a lot of these new concepts, he starts forgetting the concepts that he had learned earlier. So maybe let's say if this historian learned 10 pages, he would start forgetting what he had learned in the first 3 or 4 pages. So these were the two problems that we had encountered initially. So when it came to bag of words, you just remembered some words and their meaning, and there was no context associated between the words. Then we had something called as a recurrent neural network. And with recurrent neural networks, there was context associated, but the memory wasn't large. So as and when you kept on learning new sentences or new words, you forgot what you learned earlier. And this is where our hero steps in. So here our hero named Transformer. So this hero was created at Google, and what this basically did was it sort of gave it really huge memory. Now you cannot really call it memory because instead of scanning each word one by one, it looks everything at a single time. So if you look at this sentence, the cat chased the mouse, it will not read this sentence one word after another. What it'll do is you can basically say that this will cast a shadow on top of this entire sentence and then find for some really important clues or significant characteristics from this sentence. And here in a transformer, you have something called as self-attention mechanism. And that self-attention mechanism basically works with three parameters. You have something called as a query parameter, the key parameter, and the value parameter. And each word has all of these three parameters. And this helps in understanding how is one word related to another word. Now, if we actually know how is one word related to another word, then you don't really need a lot of memory, and also the context is established. So here with this particular sentence, the cat chased the mouse. Here you can basically have, we can call this cat word as the query word. So this word will basically ask each word in the sentence, hey, what is it that I actually need? What is it that I'm actually chasing after? Right? So this will be the query word. And then somewhere in the sentence, there will be a keyword. Now, this keyword will basically ask other words if this is what the query word is asking. So this word asked, hey, what am I chasing? And this keyword over here will basically try to understand if this word is somehow relevant to this. So it will not immediately understand that, hey, it is mouse which is actually being chased. It will, with the help of this key characteristic, it will just understand that I might be relevant to this query keyword. So here, now that we have understood how the query keyword works and the key keyword works, then we have something called as value. So now that the relation has been established between cat and mouse, then there is a value established between cat and mouse. So here, with the help of value, this transformer actually understands that this is the subject over here, cat, and this is the object over here, mouse, and the cat is chasing the mouse. So with the help of these three parameters, query parameter, key parameter, and the value parameter, we understand the context of every sentence, and also you don't need a lot of memory. And now, since we've understood how actually the self attention mechanism works, you can basically consider the entire transformer architecture as a sequence of encoders and decoders. So, whenever a new sentence is given as an input to this transformer, what happens over here is you can basically consider this transformer as a series of encoders stacked on top of each other. So here the first encoder might understand each word individually. So let's say if there's a sentence such as the cat sat on the mat. So here the first encoder might understand what is cat. Second encoder might understand what is sat. Here this encoder might understand what is mat. And this encoder will finally understand how is cat related to sat, how is sat related to mat, and so on. So this is how we establish the context between the words. So this is how this encoder learns from the input. And then you have something called as a decoder. Now this decoder, it takes in the input and generates something new. So here, if maybe you have something called as a Google Translate, and if you use Google Translate to convert the sentence, the cat chased the mouse. Well, this is how it does it. It basically has a series of decoders, and each decoder understands the context of every word with each word in the sentence, and then it goes ahead and generates the same sentence, or it converts it into a new language. So maybe if you want the sentence to be converted to Japanese, then these decoders will go ahead and convert the same sentence into Japanese. So folks, this is how a transformer works, and this is the core principle or the core building block behind all of your LLMs. And these transformers work on the concept of self attention. So self attention is basically where each word has a context with every other word in the sentence, and this makes the learning of the feature very easy. So hopefully you understand what transformers are and how they're the building blocks of LLMs. And if you've liked the video, do hit the like button and definitely subscribe to our channel. So thank you very much, and I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.